welcome. Happy Thursday. Hi everyone. Let's just take a breath together today. If you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, doesn't matter. Just treat it as if you would be live here with me. I feel like we just need to take a deep breath. So just close your eyes. You can put your hands on your heart if you want. And just take a few deep breaths together. Breathe in. And let it go. And again, breathe in slowly all the way into your belly. And breathe out. Once again, breathe in. And breathe out. We all need to take more deep breaths, definitely. And let's get started. If you watching me live, or even if you're watching the replay, let me know you're here. Give me a like or a comment so I can see that you are here. And I'm just gonna check if everything. Sorry, I've got a new setup. I have to check that it's going okay. Great. So, hi once again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pavlina. I'm an intuitive health coach, a certified EFT therapist, a quantum healing practitioner, health coach, and inner voice facilitator. And I work with women who suffer from chronic health issues, and I help them to heal. And today, I'm going to talk about a topic that popped up recently. And I've been asking myself this question. I've been sharing it on social media. If healing is cyclical, if there's cycles on our healing journey, if there's patterns that keep repeating themselves. And my own inner voice showed me this upward spiral of healing, which I'll be talking about today, which was quite, to be honest, quite mind-blowing for me, and it was a big realization. To get started, I want to ask if you have noticed any repeating patterns in your life, even can be your health issues, can be some symptoms flaring up repeatedly. Of course, with chronic health issues, that can happen quite often. But have you noticed patterns? For example, when I used to suffer from all these chronic health issues years ago, I was like, my eczema was really, really bad all over my body. I had digestive issues. I had issues with my thyroid. I had hypothyroidism. And I started noticing over time that it's related to the stress at work, because if I would take time off, it would get better, and then it would flare up again really badly when I went back to work. And lately for me, I've been really, over the past month or so, I've been feeling really drained. I had no energy, and my back pain started getting worse. Like, I mean, I had issues with my back my whole life, or since about I was 20, but lately, over the past month or so, it's been worse. And about almost 2 weeks ago now, I started getting these headaches as well, and my neck was really stiff, and I was wondering what's going on, because I normally don't get headaches, and So I was wondering, is it the change of seasons? Is it that I'm putting too much pressure on myself at work, because I know I tend to do that, and I tend to work too much, or I just I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I know that, like, I have these tendencies and I am working through them, but I was like, so what's going on? And then I was talking to a friend and I realized that the same thing happened last year about the same time. And so I was tired as well, and I was getting these headaches, and I pretty much had to lie on my couch or in bed for about a month before it got better. And I kept thinking, so is it a change of seasons, or what can it be? And so I started asking my inner voice questions, like, what's behind it? What does it mean? How can I do to change this? And I had this realization that actually about 7 years ago, I was still living in New Zealand, and I was studying. I was doing my second master's degree at the time, because I thought, after years and years of living in New Zealand, I wasn't able to get a proper job. So I decided to get a second master's degree, and I was studying full time. I was working on the side, trying to support myself because I didn't have anyone there. I was by myself. And my body again was showing me giving me all these signals, and I wasn't listening at the time. I wasn't paying attention, and I ended up having an injury, and I hit my head and I had a concussion. And after that, I had to stay in bed for about 2 months, and I was really, really tired, and I was getting these headaches. And I was like, this feels quite similar. I mean, I didn't hit my head this time, but the feeling of being drained, having no energy, feeling tired, and these headaches. And I was thinking, so what was I doing at the time? And I was hustling a lot. I was trying to do it all, university. I was coming up to writing my thesis. I was working, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And at the same time, or not long after that, my father passed away. And there was, of course, even though we never had a really good relationship, that was quite emotional for me. And after that, I ended up coming back to the Czech Republic, where I live still. And this actually, the anniversary of my father's passing is coming up as well. So all these things started coming up. And so I started asking my inner voice what's behind it, and my inner voice told me that it's this old pattern, old feeling or limiting belief that I'm not good enough, which I've done already, like, so much work on myself. So I released so much, and I worked on this so many times for years and years and years. And my father was a big influence in my life, and all these feelings of not feeling good enough, that they keep coming up. Even though I've done all this work, they still, now and then, it comes up, especially when I'm trying to up level, when I'm doing even this, like going live. That few years ago, I talking to you guys like this, that wouldn't be possible because I was terrified of public speaking. So, like, all these things, trying to do it all again, running my own business, and with my perfectionist tendencies, and all these things, it's my inner voice taught me that I need to let go of this pattern of not feeling good enough. And it's a really big one for me. I've been going over and over it again and again, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. There are cycles, there are repeating patterns, you know, and sometimes even though we are doing all this work, there is sometimes we just can't let it go all at once. Pardon me. And we need to go through the same thing over and over again. And this upward spiral of healing I mentioned before, my inner voice showed me that, you know, when you go through healing or up leveling, or you going through your life and working on yourself, there's like patterns and cycles. And you know, we go through different cycles in life. We have our menstrual cycle, there's the moon cycle, there's the seasons during the year, there's cycles in nature and all these things. But during our life, or during when we are doing all this work, when we are up leveling, when we are healing, there's cycles as well, but they're not linear. You're not going through, because you keep growing, you keep evolving, so it's not like going into circles, but we are up leveling, we are going through the same thing, or maybe, you know, over and over again, but at the same time we're shedding layers. It's like peeling the onion, you know. You might have to go through it again every year, or every similar situation, every relationship, every job you have, or whatever, until you release it fully. And every time you might when you stumble upon the same problem, the same issue, you might release a little bit, and then again a little bit, and you're going up and up and up. So this is pretty much the concept of the upward spiral of healing. Sometimes we are able to release some things in one go or within a shorter time, you know, but with these like deep rooted issues, like for me, this feeling that I'm not good enough, because I've had it all my life, ever since I was a little girl, because of some programming that I picked up in my family, especially from my father, because like he always wanted me to be better, to do better, and all these things ever since I was a child or growing up. That's how I've been feeling my whole life, that I'm not good enough, because I could never be good enough for him. I could never get the love I needed or wanted from him. So I was trying, you know, and then when things got worse between us, I was rebelling. There were times in my life where I hated him, and I still, but my whole life I was trying to prove something to him, because I had this subconscious pattern in my head. And I shared with you last week, or probably even before, that, you know, there's this subconscious programming is 95% of the things we do, we say, we, you know, how we function is subconscious. Only 5% of the things we are doing, saying, we are doing consciously. Otherwise, we just running on repeat. And so this pattern of not feeling good enough has been like deep seated in me. And it might have been even from, I don't know, it could have been even from some past lives, whatever. But my inner voice told me I need to let go of this, and that I'm not this little girl who was scared anymore. And it's scary. It's scary, you know, for the mind. For it's an identity I've had my whole life, and it's pretty much like letting go of this identity. And my inner voice shared with me, I need to let go, which is really scary, because for the mind, something that like changes are scary, because for our primitive brain that is millions of years old, it means any kind of change is potentially dangerous, because we don't know what's going to happen if we let go, if we change something, if we put ourselves out there. And so for the mind, it's scary to let go of this old identity and change it. So this has been showing up and showing up and showing up, and as always, with how your body is showing you whatever you're going through, whatever health issues you are experiencing, whatever symptoms you are experiencing, and it will be different for every person. It doesn't mean if you get a headache or you experiencing chronic back pain that it has to be the same thing as is for me. It's always individual. We always have to ask ourselves individually, what does it mean for me? And how can I change it? And I will share a little bit later, or in a bit, I will share some questions you can ask yourself and what you can do about it if you notice these patterns. And do let me know, please, in the chat if there's any repeating patterns you've been noticing in your life, because I would be interested to know if you've noticed some of these things that keep coming back in cycles, every year, every time you go through a similar thing. And do notice if you're experiencing the same thing over and over again. What's going on in your life? What are you thinking? What have you been doing, or what have you not been doing? And for me right now, I take it one day at a time. The headaches have improved because I've been working on this, and sometimes it's really enough to bring it into your consciousness. What's actually the reason behind it, and asking how you can change it. And sometimes there needs to be some work done. Those of you who've been following me for a while, I work with inner voice, I work with EFT, and I combine these techniques. And I've been doing these inner healing sessions, energetic cleanses here in the group, and somewhere else as well. But there's techniques how you can release it on the energetic level, in your subconscious, on the soul level, and so on. And there's still recordings from these guided sessions in the group, or on my website as well. Or of course, I offer one-on-one support as well, which I can talk about a little bit later. But there's always inquiry. You need to ask what's behind it. Why is it happening? Ask yourself. Don't ask your mind, because your mind will make up stories and excuses, and there will be resistance. Like I said, it's when you're shedding these things, when you're stepping into your power, because ultimately your body is giving you signals that you're not in alignment with your highest self, with your inner voice, with your soul, whatever you call it. And any sort of symptoms, no matter if they're physical, mental, or emotional, there's always signals from your body that you need to change something, that you're not in alignment, and that you need to come back to yourself. So inquiry. Keep asking, keep tuning in, and yeah. So I'm gonna hold on. I've had all these notes and I haven't really been following them, but I'm gonna share with you some of the questions you can ask. And so when you notice these patterns, it doesn't have to be even the repeating patterns, but if you notice some symptoms, if you're experiencing chronic health issues, no matter what they are, just start asking yourself, start asking your inner voice, why is this coming up? What's triggering it? When did it start? If it's a repeating pattern, when did it start this time? Or when did it start in general? When was the very first time you experienced this, and what was happening in my life when this came up. You know, what was stressing me out? Was there going something on at work or in my relationship, in my family? What is my body telling me? What does this symptom mean? And what can I do to change it? How can I get out of this pattern? What do I need to release? What should I do differently? What should I not do? What do I need to change? And sometimes it can be overwhelming. So you can just ask, what is the next step? Or what is the first step I can take? What is the one little change I can do in my life to change this, to improve this, to let it go? And do follow the guidance, because I talked about this. I talked about resistance last week, and there will be resistance because, like I said, any change in your life it's potentially dangerous for your mind. That's how your mind perceives it. That's how your brain perceives it. So there will be resistance. Be prepared that your mind will give you a million excuses why you shouldn't do it, because it wants you to stay safe. It wants you to stay stuck, pretty much. And that's just how the brain works. And that's okay. The resistance will be there, but you can work through it. If you haven't watched my live from last week, you can watch it here in the group, or you can watch it on my website. I put it on there as well. And go back and watch it, how you can release this resistance, or how you can work through it. And yeah, you need to get out of the head and work through it. Ask these questions, follow the guidance. And like I said, there's techniques I use to help you release this. There's these guided sessions there that you can follow in the group here or on my website as well. I did this Heal from Within workshop about a month ago. There is a guided releasing session you can follow. Of course, I can offer one-on-one support as well. I do long-term programs for women with chronic health issues, where I combine this block releasing with the help of your inner voice with EFT, which I don't think I talk too much about EFT in this group, but it's one of the main tools I use when working with clients. If you don't know what EFT is, it's a technique that's based on pretty much acupuncture. It works with your energy body, but with your subconscious as well. So it's really great for unblocking these subconscious patterns on the emotional level, on the subconscious level, and on the energetic level as well. I'm not going to get into it too much today, but I might do another live about EFT some other time. And like I said, keep asking these questions and notice, like, where are you not supporting yourself? Because maybe you're just not taking care of yourself. Maybe it can be little things as well. Sometimes, and I'm guilty as charged. Like, I tend to want to help everyone else, and I keep forgetting about myself. And sometimes I notice that I keep telling my clients how they should take care of themselves, and then I don't do it because, it's quite easy to slip when you're feeling better, and then you don't, like, I don't really have normally any chronic health issues anymore. And of course, we tend to slide, and then we forget to do something, and then some things start coming up again. So I know, for me, for example, meditation, movement, nature, journaling, these are like 4 things I do quite religiously, you know. Otherwise, like, I don't do them all every day. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But those are things, and connecting to my inner voice, of course, those are things I need to do regularly. Otherwise, I know that I will slip into old patterns again. And especially like with meditation and tuning into your inner voice, this is a must movement. You, of course, like, it's good for your body as well, but it's good for moving the energy in the body. And of course, work-life balance. If you working too much or not taking care of yourself, or taking care of other people and not taking care of yourself, or, you know, if you don't take care of yourself first, you won't be able to help anyone else. And we all tend to do that. So yeah, maybe I talk about this some other time as well. What are the main self-care tips I could give you? Yeah, but if you are going through a rough time, if you experiencing either these repeating patterns, or if you just full on experiencing some chronic health issues, just start asking those questions and take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. And in the beginning, I asked you all to take a deep breath together. And that sometimes it's really just what you need, is to take a few deep breaths and get out of the head, and notice what's going on inside of you, you know, and just keep checking in and asking, what do the symptoms mean? What's your body telling you? What is showing up? What's going on? And what you need to do to change it, to release it, to heal it. What do you need to let go of? And yeah, and like I said, sometimes we need to go through the same thing over and over again until we fully release it. Sometimes it takes a longer time, and I showed you this upward spiral of healing. Sometimes we really need to go through it again and again and again, and you can experience it less and less and less if you start changing it. If not, then of course you might have to go through it over and over again until you realize what's going on, and until you change it or start changing it. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. You can ask now, or if you're not watching live, if you're watching the replay, let me know in the chat, and I can come back and reply to the questions later. But yeah, just keep coming back, tuning in, and asking those questions. And I mentioned before that I offer one-on-one support as well. And actually, at the moment, I have 2 more spots for my one-on-one deep healing program. So if that's something that you would be interested in, that your inner voice tells you that it would be helpful for you, that you see it like a fit for you, I can tell you a little bit more about the program. Like I said, I work with women who struggle from chronic health issues, and if you haven't been able to heal them long term, there is definitely a sign that, for me, I've noticed it myself and with my clients. It always comes to the thing that you're not living in alignment with yourself. And I combine inner voice coaching with EFT, like I said, and so many other techniques to help you to release these patterns, to release these energetic and emotional blocks that might be contributing to your health issues, and that will help you to heal from within on the energetic level, on the soul level, on the physical, mental, emotional levels. And over time, it's a 6-month program, and over time we go through this together and slowly release these patterns. And also I teach you so many different techniques and practices that you can do yourself to step into your purpose, to release these patterns, to teach you new things you can do, how you can support your health, so you can finally start living the healthy, happy life you want to live, and you can step into your purpose, because ultimately that's all we're here to do, to live a happy and purposeful life. And like I said before, when you're not living consciously, when you're not living in your purpose, when you're not living in alignment with your higher self, your body will start giving you signals. And if you're not listening, they can become chronic health issues. And that's all it is. And it can be different for any, for each of you. And there will be a resistance to change. But I'm here to support you. I would love to support you. If you're interested to find out more, like I said, I have 2 spots available right now, and you can just send me a message, and I would love to connect, and we can just chat. We can just jump on a call and chat about it. I can tell you more about the program. You can tell me what's going on for you in your life, and we can see if it would be a mutual fit or not. So I'm just gonna look if there's any questions in the chat. I don't see any. Okay. So like I said, if you will have any questions later about what I talked about today, or about the program even, just write them down in the chat or send me a message, and I will be more than happy to support you and help you to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. It's all connected anyway. So I don't see any questions. So yeah, that's all from me today. I will probably be live again sometime next week. I will let you all know. And thank you all for watching today, for listening. Sending you all so much love, and let me know how these questions were helpful for you, or these tips, and what was your biggest takeaway, because I would love to know. I would love to know that it's helpful for you. Okay, my lovelies, sending you all so much love. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.